Your mind is a battlefield. Every day, negative thoughts rise up like enemy soldiers, doubts, fears, comparisons, and regrets. And most people lose the battle before it even begins, because they think they are their thoughts. But here's the truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the general of your mind. And Stoicism gives you the armor and weapons you need to win. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And that is the essence of what we're about to do together. Over the next few minutes, I will walk you through 7 Stoic principles, timeless mental weapons that will eliminate negative thinking and build a level of toughness inside you that nothing can shake. These aren't abstract ideas. They are practices, tools, disciplines you can start today. So let's begin. The first principle is perhaps the most liberating. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Think about this. How many times have you felt attacked by your own mind? A thought appears, "I'm not good enough." Another one arrives, "I always fail." Another whispers, "What's the point of trying?" And suddenly you feel trapped, as if those thoughts define you. But Stoicism teaches us that thoughts are like passing clouds. They drift in, they drift out, but they are not the sky. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Notice what he did not say. He did not say you have power over every thought that arises. He said you have power over your mind, meaning your response, your perspective, your ability to step back and observe. Imagine standing on a street corner watching cars pass by. Some cars are loud, some are fast, some are broken down. But you are not the cars. You are the watcher. In the same way, when a negative thought appears, instead of fusing with it, say to yourself, "Interesting. My mind just offered me that thought." That single pause creates distance. And in that distance, you regain freedom. You stop being the prisoner of your thoughts, and instead, you become the commander who chooses which thoughts deserve your attention and which ones will be dismissed. The second principle is equally powerful. Don't argue with reality. Most negativity doesn't come from what happens. It comes from resisting what happens. Think about the last time you said, "This shouldn't be happening." You were late for work because of traffic. A friend betrayed your trust. A plan you worked hard for collapsed. The pain wasn't just in the event itself. It was in the mental resistance, the endless replay of "Why me? Why now? This isn't fair." But here's the Stoic truth. Reality is undefeated. You can shout at the rain, but it won't stop falling. You can hate the cold, but winter will come anyway. You can curse betrayal, but people will still disappoint you. The Stoics didn't believe in passive suffering. They believed in clarity. They believed that once you stop wasting energy fighting what already is, you free that energy to deal with it. Epictetus reminded his students, "Do not seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish for events to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly." This isn't weakness, it's power. Because the moment you accept reality, you step into the present. You stop living in the story of what should be and start dealing with what is. And that shift eliminates so much negativity. Because most of your suffering comes not from reality, but from your argument with it. Principle 3, your first emotion is not the truth. Picture this. You receive a message from someone important to you. They read it but don't reply. Instantly your mind spins. They're ignoring me. They don't care. Maybe they hate me. Your chest tightens, your stomach churns. Hours later they reply with a simple explanation. "Sorry, I was in a meeting." That storm you felt, it wasn't reality. It was your interpretation. Seneca warned about this very trap when he wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Negative thinking often disguises itself as fact, but most of the time it's just a first emotional reaction, a reflex, not a truth. The Stoics trained themselves to pause before reacting. Marcus Aurelius would write reminders to himself in his journal like a soldier sharpening his sword. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. In other words, feelings are data, not commands. You don't have to act on every fear, every doubt, every suspicion. When a wave of negativity hits you, try this. Pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, is this a fact or is this my first impression? That small gap creates wisdom. It turns you from a reactor into a thinker. It gives you the space to choose a response instead of being dragged by an impulse. And the more you practice, the more you realize that most negativity dies in the pause. Principle 4. Rewrite the story you tell yourself. Every day your mind is narrating. Something happens, and immediately your inner storyteller goes to work. You don't get the job. Your mind says, I'm a failure. Someone criticizes you. Your mind says, they're against me. You make a mistake. Your mind says, I always mess up. But here's the truth. Those are not facts. They are stories. And you are the author. Epictetus said, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. Your life is shaped less by what happens, and more by the meaning you attach to what happens. Two people can experience the same setback. One sees it as the end, the other sees it as training. Which one becomes stronger? The one who rewrites the story. You may not control every event, but you control the narrative. Instead of I failed, you can say I learned. Instead of they betrayed me, you can say they taught me who they are. Instead of life is unfair, you can say life is training me for resilience. This isn't toxic positivity. It's Stoic reframing. It's choosing the interpretation that makes you stronger instead of weaker. Your inner narration is the soundtrack of your life. If it's negative, you will feel crushed. If it's empowering, you will feel unstoppable. The pen is in your hand. Write wisely. Principle 5. Your environment feeds your inner dialogue. Most negative minds aren't born. They're built. Built by toxic people, toxic content, and toxic surroundings. Seneca warned, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. Your company is your mirror. Your mind is like a garden, and every conversation, every piece of content, every habit is a seed. If you surround yourself with negativity, gossip, and noise, don't be surprised when your thoughts bloom into chaos. If you're always in messy, loud, and draining environments, clarity will be nearly impossible. The Stoics valued simplicity and order, not because of aesthetics, but because they understood a clear space supports a clear mind. Take a look at your environment. Do the people around you lift you up or drain you? Does the content you consume inspire you or poison you? Is your space calming or chaotic? The truth is, your surroundings whisper constantly into your mind, whether you notice or not. If you want to reduce negativity, change what you expose yourself to. Spend time with people who are serious about growth. Cut out gossip, drama, and endless scrolling. Create spaces that support calm and focus. The moment you change your environment, you'll notice your mind becoming quieter. Not because negativity vanished, but because you stopped feeding it. Principle 6. You're tired, not broken. This one may surprise you. Many times, when you feel overwhelmed with negative thoughts, the problem isn't your mind, it's your energy. You haven't slept well. You've been skipping exercise. You scroll endlessly, overstimulating your brain. You haven't given yourself solitude or silence in weeks, and then you wonder why everything feels heavier than it should. The Stoics understood that mind and body are connected. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that his perception of pain was often exaggerated by his own state. Epictetus taught discipline not only for the mind, but also for the body, because fatigue makes cowards of us all. When you are exhausted, you misinterpret texts, assume the worst, overreact to small setbacks, and feel like the world is against you. But here's the liberating truth. You are not broken. You are tired. And rest is not weakness, it is maintenance. Instead of trying to outthink exhaustion, give yourself permission to recover. Sleep early tonight. Take a walk in fresh air without your phone. Step away from draining commitments. Write your worries down. Then leave them on paper instead of carrying them in your head. You'll be amazed at how many negative thoughts disappear once your body and mind are restored. Principle 7. Gratitude kills negativity. Negativity feeds on lack. It whispers about everything missing, what you don't have, who you're not, where you're falling short. Gratitude destroys that poison by shifting your focus to what already exists, what is already good, what you have already survived. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." When your mind is locked in negativity, it sees only absence. Nothing works out. Everyone is ahead of me. Life is unfair. But the moment you choose gratitude, the fog begins to lift. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending life is perfect. It means balancing the scale. You may be struggling in your career, but you may still be healthy, safe, and growing. You may be heartbroken, but you may also be discovering your own strength. You may feel behind, but you may also have opportunities to learn that others would dream of. The practice is simple. Every day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. A meal, a friend, a moment of laughter, even the breath in your lungs. When you do this consistently, negativity loses its grip, because it can't survive in the same room as gratitude. Now we come to the end, but really this is just the beginning. You've seen 7 Stoic principles that eliminate negative thinking and build mental toughness. You've learned that you are not your thoughts, that you don't have to argue with reality, that your first emotion isn't always the truth, that you can rewrite the story you tell yourself, that your environment shapes your inner voice, that being tired doesn't mean you're broken, and that gratitude is your strongest shield against darkness. But the most important lesson is this: Stoicism is not about perfection. It's about practice, daily training. Just as a warrior sharpens his sword every day, you must sharpen your mind. Some days you will slip. Some days the storm will feel louder than the calm. But if you return to these principles again and again, you will grow stronger, steadier, and unshakable. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire under betrayal, illness, and endless pressure, and yet he still found time each morning to train his mind in clarity. If he could find peace in that chaos, so can you. So let this be your commitment. Keep showing up for your mind. Choose awareness over autopilot. Choose acceptance over resistance. Choose gratitude over despair. And when you do, you will discover a quiet power within you that no storm can touch. This is Stoicism. This is mental toughness. And this is the path to peace.